Welcome to Li-Fraumeni Syndrome. Sure.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me now?
We hear
Yes.
you. Yep.
I am not
Welcome to
tech
Li-Fraumeni
savvy
Syndrome
as in
Awareness
hi.
Day, everybody. It's our
Hi.
first one.
Yay.
So this is our second time celebrating today, but I just want to again thank everybody with Living LFS for pulling this together. It was late January when Andy sent, I think it was Trish and I, a message and said, we should do an awareness day. And we're like, yes, immediately, let's do it. We only had 6 weeks to pull this together, and we've been pretty much balls out for 6 weeks every single day trying to pull this together. And I just want to say thank you to the board and all the volunteers, and then just everybody who's been pumping the message of Li-Fraumeni syndrome for these last 6 or 8 weeks. It's been amazing, the response that we've got, and we'll get into more of that in just a minute. So what we're going to go over today, the first one took about an hour. We went through, and some of it was just going through a few slides, and some of it was just hugging and crying. But we're going to go through just a little bit of the history of LFS, why we're doing Li-Fraumeni Syndrome Awareness Month. We'll talk about the grants that we decided to do. Living with LFS is one thing. Living through LFS with, through a pandemic is another thing. And it's been amazing, the response that we've got. And we had 43 or 42 or 43 grant applications. And the stories that were coming from people were just amazing. And we'll go through a little bit of the evolution of how things played out with that. Then we'll talk about family camp, and we have some special announcements there for those who haven't seen it from this morning. And then we'll talk about some of the partners and some of the special donors that have contributed during this month. So, Li-Fraumeni syndrome, when did it start? Dr. Frederick Lee, Dr. Joseph Fraumeni, they started in 1969. They identified these 4 families with histories of cancer. And there was no such thing back then, really. We didn't understand any links between P53 and cancer at that point. It was basically, there was criteria that were associated with families with these early cancers, sarcomas, soft tissue cancers, breast cancers, and they started tracking these family histories. And while they're doing this, they're taking samples, and there just wasn't a way, through up until the 90s to pinpoint which marker or which part of the DNA was really having an impact on these cancers. Step in Dr. Friend, Dr. Malkin, and Dr. Strong back in 1990. They were able to link P53 to Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And the point I like to make here is there are still families to this day that are ridden with cancer, and they don't have P53 mutations. But that doesn't mean they don't have LFS. LFS was developed because there are families with this history of cancer that were not understood, and there's some underlying issue going on within their DNA and within their bodies that is passed on from generation to generation that makes them more likely to have cancer. And if it weren't for Dr. Lee and Dr. Fraumeni, then we really wouldn't understand the relationship, or that wouldn't have gotten started to try to understand why that root cause of these cancers were occurring. And then with Dr. Malkin, Dr. Strong, and Dr. Friend, they were able to figure this out. And then bringing us more currently, Dr. Malkin in 2011 announced the surveillance protocol for families with Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And actually, you can go onto YouTube and look at some of his videos going back to 2011 with Sick Kids, where they talk specifically about Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And, I think that was still very much in the infancy of Li-Fraumeni syndrome. When my wife was diagnosed with a genetic mutation in 2014, there was still, most of the Googling, it was like there's only 400 families in the world with this. And now with, the prevalence of genetic testing, we know that it's much more than that. And as genetic testing becomes more and more available to more countries and all over the world, we're going to see that more and more people have these genetic mutations. So in 2017, between 2011 and 2017, I can remember even in Ohio at some of the LFS conferences and symposiums, there was really a debate about whether surveillance had an impact on outcomes and whether or not it was proven to have a benefit. And in 2017, everybody got together, and there's a peer-reviewed research now that really surveillance is the way to improve outcomes with families with LFS, and it makes it so important to get the genetic testing. And then we always say in the group that knowledge is power, and it is. Skin anxiety is a real thing, and there are stresses that come with surveillance. But at the end of the day, it's worth those stresses to catch those cancers when they're early and to improve outcomes. And moving forward, Living LFS is happy to be a part of the Edison Consortium, which is researching things like floating tumor DNA studies to try to catch those cancers even earlier in the process at a much less of a burden in terms of costs that come with MRI, and just the anxiety that comes with waiting for MRI results and false positives that come with MRIs because we're extra conservative when we're looking at those screens. So the hope is in the future, floating tumor DNA can really supplement those MRIs to catch cancers even sooner. So that's just a little bit of history of Li-Fraumeni syndrome. Why are we doing an awareness day? Well, as you know, Jen Mallory was our founder. She was our champion. She was our mutant mama bear, as we love to say. And really, we're just trying to continue her legacy. And every decision that we make and everything that we do is guided by that voice speaking to us from Jen to help carry on the tradition. And like I said this morning, and during her obituary, I'm sorry that you're here, but I'm glad that you found us as the voice that welcomed me into this group, and I know it welcomed so many others just over the years, especially at the beginning. I think when I joined this group, it was only about 350 or 400 people or something like that, and it's up over 1,500 now, and I know that more than half of those people, Jen was the first person to talk to, along with Ann Raymer, and those folks were the ones that were there for me. And we miss her every day. And we also wanted to honor John Berkeley and his work, being an advocate for Li-Fraumeni syndrome at the very beginning too, working with Jen and lots of other folks. And Trish was right there at the beginning, and so many of our other founders that really helped get the ball rolling, and to see what's happening in these last couple of months and years, and how the research community and the patient community has really joined together and given a voice to Li-Fraumeni syndrome patients and families, and look where we are now. And this is our first go at Li-Fraumeni syndrome awareness month and day, and we're going to do it even bigger and better next year. We're still learning, just like camp is going to be a bigger and better than it was 2 years ago, and you'll see some more details from Robin about that today. But we can't forget those early founders, and we're just going to keep carrying on their legacy and pushing for families that are affected by Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And one other person, so Dr. Freberg passed just recently. I had the privilege to meet him at the 2016 Ohio conference, and he was sitting in front of me, and I sort of poked him in between one of the breaks and said, "Hey, my name is Greg, and this is my wife's mutation. Do you mind taking a look at it? Because we had just fallen into that VUS category." And he took my email address, and he said, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll get back to you." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, we'll see if this researcher gets back to me." And sure enough, within like 2 or 3 days, he emailed me back with this long, detailed explanation of the genetic mutation and went deep into it. And I believe we crossed paths one other time, but he was just a great man and a huge advocate and a brilliant researcher for LFS. So we definitely will miss him. Hardship grants. What an amazing story this turned out to be. So at the beginning, we were talking as a board, and we decided that we were going to offer 10 grants at $5,300, $530 a piece, so $5,300. And just for some context, in 2018, we raised about $18,600 or something like that. So for one offering of grants, this was pretty huge for us. But the fact that we didn't have a camp this last year because of COVID. We had some extra funds and we wanted to do something. So we said, okay, we're going to do 10 hardship grants because we know that people are struggling. So then Snarky T-shirts obviously did their thing. And as of this morning, I think we had sold 190 something T-shirts. And Andy, how many families was that of? 90 or something?
Yeah, I think it was 90 people that
You might
actually
be on mute.
bought T-shirts. Oops.
Nope. Well, anyway.
There we go. Sorry about that. Yes, we had, it was 190 units sold by 80 customers. 80 customers
Amazing.
purchased 190 shirts.
And they look awesome. And I've been wearing them all day. And looking across Facebook and Instagram, you can see all the families for, wearing blue for LFS Day. And really, that was actually Pan and his organization who kind of kicked that off from the UK, and it got immediate traction. And I'm not sure if Pan is on for this one, but he has been a huge advocate for us, and we were able to speak with him this morning. So thank you to Pan. So that got us to 12. Then Judy Heights was able to donate one other specific grant, $530. So thank you to Judy. And then Delaney passed away this month, and Tara had written in for proceeds to go to Living LFS, which was amazing. And the response that we got, it was just donation after donation after donation coming in for all the people who Delaney had touched in her life. And we decided what better way to honor her than to give a grant out to somebody whose child was affected by LFS. And we were able to do that for Delaney. So thank you, Tara and Michael, for thinking of us. So Snarky kept kicking ass, 2 more grants. So what are we up to now? That's 12, 13, 14, 16 grants. We had 42 or 43 applications. So we got an anonymous donor came in and gave us 22 $530 grants specifically for children affected by LFS, which I can't thank them enough. I kept asking, is there anything that we can do to name your foundation, to give you a shout out for anything? And she said, no, I don't want my name out there. I just want you to have this. I'll send the checks to the families. Just tell me who needs the money and send me their application. And I don't know what else to say. It was just, I think we all got on a call that night and pretty much all of us started crying. And that really started getting things in motion. It's like, wow, we are really going to be able to help some people and some families that are really struggling right now. And yesterday, I was saying earlier this morning, for my birthday, I was able to call some families, and Jackie and Trish were able to too. We called the families and let them know that they were getting grants for this, $530, and almost everybody just broke down in tears and were just shocked and so appreciative of this, because they've been just through so much. And if any of you have followed along on some of the fundraisers out there, you can read up on the stories of what their families have been through these last couple of years, and how COVID, just piled on top of it. So the donations from the community are really improving people's lives and making a difference. And that's what Living LFS is all about. It's about helping those families who really need support at a critical time. And it's been amazing to watch people rally around the folks who need it the most. And then, yeah, speaking of my birthday, I put together a little fundraiser hoping to, at the very beginning, get one $530 grant. And we've received over $12,500 at this point, which is just amazing. I can't even have any words. The outpouring of support from so many people, from Barb Kirkpatrick and so many others. It's just, I don't have words to describe. I couldn't ask for a better birthday present, and to be able to, call people on the phone and tell them that a little bit extra help is on the way, and that we got your back, and here's my number, and don't ever be afraid to reach out if you need help, because Ann Raymer was, I remember her calling me when I first got this and being like, my wife just got cancer, we lost a baby. 6 weeks later, my wife got cancer. 6 weeks later, my daughter got diagnosed with LFS. What is going on? Just one thing after another. And Ann spending like an hour on the phone with me just to explain things, and Jen messaging me on Facebook, and now it's my time to pay it forward. And that's the way I think of it, and I think that's the way that everybody on the board thinks of it, and that we've had an experience, whether it's camp or whether it's through meetups or fundraisers or whatever it might be, that we connect with people, and we get, and then we give back, and that's what we're all about. So in summary, 43 people applied who were qualified, and 43 people have been funded. And we started off aiming for 10. And with the fundraisers and that amazing amount of money that we've raised, we're going to have another round of grants for the anniversary of Jen passing on October 5th, and we'll earmark the extra funds that we have right now for another go of it. And from every year from now and until this organization is still going, we will always have rounds of grants for those who really need it, to try to make a difference for those people. And once they're on their feet, hopefully they'll help make a difference for people moving forward. So I guess just in summary, thank you for everybody who's done any amount of fundraising, whether it's $10 or $5,300. We appreciate your support during this. There's been over 100 people who have donated to my fundraiser. There's 3 other birthday fundraisers going on. We're getting Network for Good donations. We're seeing 5Ks being run today. Andy, I can't thank you enough for spearheading this and taking it to where it is. And I just promise that next year we're going to be even bigger and even better. So thank you all very much. And at this point, I'll open it to the floor before Robin talks a little bit about family camp. And if anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free to hop in.
I would just like to say that the fact that we managed to go from 10 grants to 43 grants in our first year, when we only announced the fact that this event was going to exist about a month ago, is just stunning. And this community has turned out for it. And I thank you. And this is just the beginning.
And there's been a ton of other fundraisers along the way too. Treva did the wine fundraisers. Tanya had her T-shirt one. There's just everything that's been going on, whether it's Giving Tuesday, or when Jen passed, the amount of support that we got from people, because we were hurting, and we still got together. But it was tough. But this community really rallied around us, and we're just so thankful. Trish?
So I just want to say that when we talked, the group of founding members, when we all got together, and in October of 2013, and we were officially formed in July of 2014, but giving out hardship grants was always one of our dream goals. I mean, like the Sarcoma Alliance gives out $500 to get a second opinion on sarcoma. And we wanted to be able to do something similar, because we know how expensive, living with LFS is. And so to sit and, as the last founding member on the board, right? And to sit and watch this take off exponentially, and be able to realize, one of those dreams. I mean, camp was the big dream, but here it goes again, and when we started, and we were so small, and we wanted to do it organically. We didn't want to pay for social media. We didn't want to do any of that. We wanted to take care of the people. And as we grew, continue to pay that forward. And I am just so, so proud of this organization and what we are doing for our community and in Jen's honor. It's really remarkable. Andy, you have been a freaking rock star through this. I am telling you, I have watched in awe as you are like, hey, I have an idea, and have just taken off. I cannot wait until next year where there's, marching for mutants in person, and we're going to do wine tasting called Merlot for mutants, right? I know Treva will be on that. But this is only going to get bigger and better. But from our small group, just talking about like what would be our dream things to be able to do for our community, and already 2 of those are checked off the list. It's really incredible. And I thank every single person who has supported this organization, and supported each other on the Facebook group, because it's not just about the monetary things. It's about the connection and the community that we have, that is really an incredible and special place. I'm a member of a lot of cancer groups, right? Because with LFS, you got to learn about a lot of cancers. There's no place that's like our group. So thank you.
Thank you, Trish. Greg, can I talk about some of our partners and people that have been involved in this effort with us?
Sure.
The George Panziarka TP53 Trust in the UK jumped on board Pan and his family and have been supporting this. Like Greg said, they came up with the Wear Blue for LFS hashtag, and they have been supporting LFS Awareness Day. I also want to give a shout out to Tangled Up in Bows, who is a friend of my mom's. Mom is on. Hi, Mom. And I'm going to present my screen right now to show you their collection. They created a custom fabric for Living LFS, and they make children's accessories, bows and little short pants and hair ties and that sort of thing, as well as ladies' leggings, the masks, the tumblers, all of these things. They're offering them on their website at tangledupinbows.com right now. And all proceeds go to Living LFS. And so far from this collection, they have been able to donate $627 to us. And this promotion goes through the end of the month. So you can still go to tangledupinbows.com and get custom printed Living LFS fabrics in all of these products. And I'll show you a little bit of what they've got. So they've got beanies and bows and mini bows and scrunchies and all of that sort of thing. And those are all available, like I said, at tangledupinbows.com. And then also Debbie Leanne Photography is somebody that, Debbie is a photographer in Hampton Roads, Virginia, that ended up becoming very close friends with Jen, and took a lot of pictures of her and her family over the years. And she is right now offering $53 photo sessions as well for people in that area, and all proceeds from that promotion also go to Living LFS to help families with Li-Fraumeni syndrome this month. So I want to thank all of those organizations and businesses for getting involved and for supporting families with Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And then I think it's time to talk about camp.
Yeah, Andy, I don't know. It looks like they took down the pictures of me in my boxer briefs on Tangled up with Bose.
We'll have to talk
I
to
don't know
Rachel
what
about getting
happened.
those back online, Greg.
Yeah, if you could, that would be great. With that, let's talk about camp. How about that, Robin? You got it?
Thanks for that, Greg. That was super helpful. And it stopped me crying.
Hey, you said I made you cry before, so now
What a
you get a better
segue, huh?
intro.
Right. And then I
Put your Teddy Whitey guy.
Trisha, and I was like, oh my God, but I'm okay now. You made it funny, so maybe I'll make it through. All right. Oh, hang on. I did the wrong thing first. Okay. Oh, bear with me. I'm not as good at this as Andy and Greg are. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes? Excellent. Okay. Oh, wait. See, this is a problem. Hold on.
Actually,
Um,
Actually, while Robin is figuring that out, I would like to also announce the fact that this morning we had a special addition to our collection for fundraising purposes. Some of you know Inga van Dormel. She is one of our board members, and she is an incredible artist. And she donated a piece, which was available at snarkycancer.com this morning. It is a hand-drawn original mandala with the Living LFS logo in the middle of it. And this she made available for us for a donation of $530, with the funds going to Living LFS. And that was purchased instantly by Lori and Len Quadracci. And so we want to thank them as well for, number one, purchasing this gorgeous piece of art, and for, they'll obviously have it in a home where it means so much, and also for supporting Living LFS with that. So Lori and Len, thank you for that. Robin, it's all you.
Okay, I think I have it going, and that was just fate because 2 more people joined, so I was waiting for them. Okay.
Perfect.
Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Happy LFS Awareness Day in honor of our amazing Jennifer Mallory. Oh, see, I was going to do it without crying this time. Living LFS is beyond thrilled and excited to announce the Jennifer Mallory Family Camp, Rocky Mountain Village, Empire, Colorado, August 11th to 14th, 2022.
Can you go full screen on this, Robin?
It's presenting at full screen, but because this is Vimeo,
Okay.
we won't add the YouTube link in. So. Sorry. So Rocky Mountain Village Camp, the outdoor facilities include 2 well-stocked fishing ponds, a picnic pavilion, a striking outdoor stage, plentiful hiking trails, a tranquility garden, an outdoor swimming pool, and it's in August, so it will actually be warm enough for everyone who isn't from the Great White North in Calgary to use the swimming pool. Hot tub, tennis and basketball courts, zip line, climbing wall, horse barn, and arena. This right here is a picture of the outdoor stage, so we can have our little outdoor talent show, which will be fabulous again. RMV is located 1 hour from the Denver International Airport and can accommodate 150 campers in 2 lodges, one of which is brand new. It was built right before COVID, and 6 cabins. Meals and linens will be provided. We will again host breakout sessions for our LFS families and encourage free time spent growing, sharing, and exploring. And of course, living LFS with your cabin mates and new friends. This is the fishing pond here. Here's some pictures of the cabins and some of the breakout spaces. We can also post some of the links to the videos on our Facebook page now that this is out there and it's done. We cannot wait to connect, educate, and empower. Family Camp changes lives and forges bonds to last a lifetime. And it's funded all by our amazing donors. So thank you all for that. Earlier today, I shared that I was diagnosed with LFS just about 18 months before family camp, maybe 2 years. And at the time, I was the first person in our area, the first person that our geneticist knew about. I found LFS on Facebook, and our family drove down to Montana from Calgary to attend family camp. And I told Mallory and Trish and Greg that camp and that last day that it changed our lives. It changed our entire family, our outlook on everything. We made friends that we still talk to on Zoom every few days. It gave us a real sense of community. It made it not scary. It actually made it kind of fun. And I'm so happy to be able to be a part of bringing that to other people. So that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Robin.
I think that's all we got.
I want to know, has anybody actually done any of the coloring book? I wasn't sure whether or not, because I know that we did get some donations from people who actually downloaded the coloring book. But if in the coming weeks, if you actually do some art therapy and you want to share those, we would love to see those and post them at livinglfs.org and on our Facebook page and on Twitter and on Instagram, and make you famous for the artists that you all are. And if you don't have a coloring book and would like one, you can always reach out to us and we'll get you one of those. And I see that we have some folks that are running 5Ks for us right now, Lana and Linda. Linda is on our board of directors. She is actually out running a 5K as we speak. So I want to thank them for doing those fundraisers and awareness raising events as well. Do we have anybody that would like to contribute? Sorry, Greg, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for family camp, we're going to do it just like we did last time. So you'll have a $53 deposit that you put down that's refundable for signing up for camp. And, you know, those will be going out with more details, and we'll do breakout sessions just like we did before. You know, Living LFS is all about those psychosocial care that patients and families need to deal with a diagnosis, and it's about connecting families to each other, right? You know, whether you're from the United States or from Finland or Switzerland or UK or wherever. Now we were talking earlier today, this woman Zami from Peru, I was talking to her maybe a couple of weeks ago, and then this other woman from Argentina was asking for somebody who spoke Spanish, so I connected those two together, and it was fun to watch them speak in Spanish just through Instagram. And by the end of the conversation, they're like, I can't wait until our children meet. And for me, that was just like, this is what Living LFS is all about, is connecting those families. And there's no better form to do it than family camp. And anybody you talk to, whether it's a patient, family member, or a genetic counselor or a psychologist that was there last time, that hasn't said that it was just a life-changing experience for them. And I know it certainly was for me. So with 150 people capacity this time, I'm pretty excited to see how things go. I just wish that we could do it sooner, but we have a date now. We're ready to go. It's warmer. It's closer to an airport. So It's going to be much cheaper. I was talking to Fannie LeMay, who's going to be flying from Montreal, and a flight for her to Denver is like $230 round trip right now. It's super cheap compared to going into somewhere like Montana, which it was pretty expensive. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Ginny Davis has raised her hand. That's my mom.
Has she not talked enough today? I mean,
Oh, believe me, we won't go there, Greg. Andy can shut me up sometimes. I just wanted to remind Andy to talk about Smile as a way to maybe raise some more money for camp.
Oh, that's a great idea. If you go to smile.amazon.com.
See, I'm shutting up now, Brett.
No, I'm
Greg.
teasing you, Jenny. Come on.
I know that. I know
Thank you for
that.
everything. You've been pumping us up for the last 2 weeks. I've seen you all over Facebook, so thank you so much.
Smile.amazon.com is a place where when you go there to make your purchases at Amazon, you can actually choose Living LFS as the charity of your choice, and then 0.05%, or maybe it's 0.5%.
0.5.
Of
Yep.
eligible transactions that you do at smile.amazon.com will be donated to us, and that happens passively, and it doesn't cost you any additional money. So that is a way that you can support Living LFS. It doesn't cost you anything extra. All you have to do is make sure that you always start at smile.amazon.com and to choose Living LFS as your charity that you want those funds to go to. William Lehman has raised his hand as well.
We've raised $2,100 through smile.amazon.com in our lifetime.
Fantastic.
So that is just passive income coming in. Thank you for a reminder.
It's really Nancy. But I just wanted to say when 5 Lehmans walked into camp 2 years ago, it did change our lives. I walked in where I didn't have to explain to anybody what I had. Angie walked in and got talking to other caregivers. My youngest granddaughter just had a heyday, and Michaela, she was 9 then, she sat into quite a few of the sessions. And the discussions that we had on the plane coming home was absolutely unbelievable that those 2 little girls got out of that meeting. And we have talked about it ever since. So thank you. And next year, there's going to be more Lehmans and more Peckmans coming.
I love it. So first of all, I love your background with the elephants.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
this is my
second of all,
elephant room.
your grandchildren are super talented. I will never forget, those 2 little girls singing in the talent show was so cool.
Well, you might get the 3rd one in there singing now too, so you never know. And she might not be invited to do it, but she might just do it anyway. I'm a lucky
I don't know if
boy one.
anybody can top the little comedian that Courtney brought, but
Yes.
That changed his life. Hanging out with those little girls and swinging from banister to banister in the camp rooms. He's forever changed and grateful for the experience. And I'm taking him out of school, and he'll be there next year.
Awesome.
I remember him running in the room and saying, "Oh my God, Carly just about died." He just about missed the jump.
Do we have anybody else that would like to share something or tell a story or contribute to LFS Awareness Day today?
I can't believe Mills doesn't have any stories.
I know.
Mills always has stories.
Hi, Jen.
Am I on?
Go ahead. You
Yes,
can
you're
She
on.
raised her hand.
Oh, can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on good behavior because I'm in the car with my husband.
Oh,
And
he
we all
doesn't have
know
good
he
behavior.
doesn't like funeral jokes. They're not funny.
Yes, they are.
Hi, everybody. Have a good one.
Christina has raised her hand. Christina.
Hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Hi. So this is my first time here, and I'm a major emotional person. So I won't get too far into my story, but I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means so much for your support and everything. I already want to cry.
You're very welcome, and we're happy to have you part of the group.
Thank you for having me.
And Rita has raised her hand. Hello, Rita.
Oh, Rita's on.
Rita,
Hey,
you're
Rita.
muted.
Now,
There you
can
go.
you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. So I just wanted to say that I haven't managed to be on the camp last year, but for the next year, I definitely want to be there. And for both of my boys, I'm sure it will be a great opportunity to meet with all of you.
Awesome.
Matthew
forward
has
to
raised her
it.
hand.
Hi, my name is Madeline Matthews. My son's sitting right beside me. We're new to the group, but we would love to join you at camp. And actually, we found out about you from my brother-in-law, Paul Ukiaga, who has 3 daughters, and his wife's name is Rose, and mentioned how wonderful it was. So we're looking forward to it as well.
We saw them this morning. That looks like they're doing great.
We're glad you
It's
joined
nice
us
to meet
today,
you.
and we hope to see you at camp. That's wonderful.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Len and Lori have raised their hand.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
We just wanted to wish Roberta a happy birthday since she gave birth on this day, and we're just all so blessed that you did. So thank you and happy birthday.
Brittany.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm an emotional person too. I've been like wiping tears the whole time, so just ignore that if it happens. I wouldn't say new to the group. I've been kind of lurking around, but I'm more of like a listener. And something that Trisha said that I definitely resonate with is like I'm part of a lot of breast cancer groups. I was diagnosed in June, and a lot of them are super just like negative, and I feel like there's a lot of judgment based on your questions, and I feel like I don't feel that way at all whenever I read in the Facebook group with what you guys say, and there's always so much like support that I can feel. So I just want to say thank you for always being positive, because yeah, those groups are like you know, sometimes it's just too much. So and I'm one of the recipients of the check. I have it here. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I lost my job because of COVID in April, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer in June. So it's been hard, but thank you.
This is what we're here for.
Thank you so
And
much.
you're welcome. Thank you for being part of it.
Yeah.
And thank you for showing us the check. That is just
I'm so glad you
so
caught
nice
it.
to actually know that they're being received.
Yeah,
It
I
has,
got
like,
it.
the anonymous donor came forward. She was like, "Oh yeah, I want to send the checks myself." And I was like, "Okay, do you want to send them to us?" She's like, "No, I'll do it." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna start calling people. Please send them, please."
I actually got it in the mail yesterday, and then I spoke to Greg, you know, 2 nights ago. So I was like, oh my gosh, the timing was like perfect.
Awesome.
I think if I would have gotten the check and I didn't hear from you, I'd be like, well, is this a mistake? So, but yeah, so thank you. It really, you know, I never even thought I'd be dealing with any of this, obviously at 32 years old, but, you know, I went through IVF and just hoping that this TP53 ends with me. That's what I'm hoping with going through the IVF process. And yeah.
Awesome.
So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Brittany.
Yeah, and I will say with the support group, we try to keep it a very safe place, and that's why we screen people and only let caregivers or parents of a child with LFS or somebody with LFS, and we try to screen out the crazy aunt and uncle from, you know, the madness that can be, because it's enough, and we want people who really understand what living with LFS is like to be in that area. And we tend not to delete comments and not delete posts, even though they can be controversial at times. And, you know, I think one of the things that Jen was always really good about and that I learned from her is the first thing you always say, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry you're struggling. Because when somebody is saying something and they're lashing out, they're not lashing out at you, they're lashing out because of everything that they've been through. And I think that has really taken hold in the group, and that culture that we have was instilled by Jen and our founders, and it's something I hope continues, and that people understand that. Why didn't you delete that post? It's no, it's not about that. It's about letting people express themselves, and that we're here to support them even though they're going through a hard time. And you'll be surprised at how many people turn around after they kind of have that outburst, and maybe some don't, as you know, yesterday was kind of an interesting day, but yeah.
It's very obvious though. Like sometimes I just have to take a break from the groups because it's just really overwhelming. But like I feel like when I get a notification from this group, I'm like, I know it's gonna be like supportive. Oh yeah.
And don't feel guilty. You know, some people take breaks from screening for a little while. Some people take breaks from the group from a little while. And it's a very personal decision because it can be a lot. There is a lot of stress that comes with surveillance. There is a lot of stress that could, and it's one of the reasons why we have this group as 18 plus, because there's some real stuff that happens in this group, and the little ones, you know, they still get me. You know, I just I don't know how much more to say about that, but it can be a tough place, and it can be a very happy and snarky place too. But there's a lot that goes into this, which is why I have a ton of respect for all the admins who are in the group, who are trying to flesh things out, and for those people who just continuously give and talk to people offline and Messenger, and you know, and I really appreciate everybody who's put a single minute into this group. It's
and
been
actually,
amazing.
I would like to point out that in a great deal of the cases, that person that is private messaging and dealing with people that are coming new to this these days is Greg. Greg is absolutely phenomenal at helping people one-on-one, helping people in group situations. His just outpouring of support for these people who he doesn't know, but who are clearly hurting and scared, has just been incredible. So, Greg, thank you for that as well.
Thank you, Andy.
Robin has raised her hand.
Can I just share this in the comments? Leslie says that her audio is not working, but she's also new to the group and a recipient of the grant money, and she just wants to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And we are so happy to be able to do that for you.
I can't think of a better way to celebrate Mallory's birthday. I really just can't. You know, she was my person. And so this is such a beautiful, beautiful way. So again, Andy, your brilliance in coming up with this is just incredible. But like to be giving out grants to families on her birthday it's the best. It really is. And I don't know if Anne is still on, but she was playing a word game and she screenshotted it, and it was Mallory. The words, like the letters spelled out Mallory. I'm not kidding. So she's here with us, and thank you guys. Thank you for being part of it. And every time that you help each other, you honor her. Every time.
Group hug.
I know, I miss hugging.
We're getting there. We're getting closer, folks. We're
I
getting
know.
closer. Roberta, did you want to say a few words?
Gosh, now I'm crying again. Trish,
sorry.
Thank you for those very kind words, and everyone. Lori, Len, thank you for your acknowledgement. And the best that I can say, and I agree with this, my Jenny is probably smiling down and sitting on each of your shoulders as that angel that I know she is now. This is a wonderful gift that you all are doing for each other, and I am just so proud to be like a mama bear's mama. And, but thank you all. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do.
Thank you, Roberta.
Roberta, I also have to say that it's been like 6 months since somebody said, "Bite me."
No, sometimes I think I should just do that just because, right?
Thank you. True.
Would anybody else like to share? Aaron Banstra.
Hey guys, so March is always bittersweet for me because my mother died on March 18th, 1982. And she had breast cancer, and she was diagnosed when she was 30 and only lived till she was about 35. And this, of course, back in 82 when, medical treatment isn't what it was today. Actually, can I share my screen a little bit?
Of course, yeah, go for it.
While I present, let me see here. Yeah, so let's see if this works. All right, so you know, see that? That's a picture of her. And that's this is my mom and her sister actually had breast cancer as well. She never got officially diagnosed, but we're pretty sure it's LFS P53 mutation.
I can see Amy and your mom.
Yes,
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
And her brother and their brother, Amy's dad, George, he died when he was 37, like I think in 81, the year before my mother died. So anyway, that's the bad news. The good news is one of the things that happened as a result of my mother's care, she was, this was 82, so hospice care wasn't exactly a thing back then, or at least not very prevalent. But two wonderful ladies named Sadie Soltenberg and Teresa Deepavane, members of our church, and nurse, and one was a nurse, actually started up a hospice care and basically started with my mother as their first patient. It's been 39 years, and they're now treating thousands of people.
That's amazing.
So I see lots of parallels in what you guys are doing here with LFS, except your journey is just getting started. You're starting here with a few patients, and believe it or not, give it time, and we'll have a ton of support, and the spider web effect, or the networking effect will kick in, and you never know how many lives you're going to touch as a result. So I just kind of saw some interesting parallels in what they did. And for me, I know you guys are we're mourning Jen, and but at the same time honoring her memory. And when every time I go to the page here, I just remember my mother fondly. And this is April was their first organizational task force meeting. Well, March of that month is of that year was when my mother died. So as a result of something good came out of that, right? So that's I figured I'd share and show you guys that oh yeah, big things are possible. You start small, but big things are coming. So yeah, I mean they've got grief counseling. This is in Kankakee, Illinois area. So they're going to celebrate their 40th anniversary, and actually won some awards here recently of I forget what it was here, the best hospice care in this case. So anyway, big things are coming. I'm sure. I'm sure of it.
That is really cool, Aaron. And yeah, Trish mentioned exponential growth earlier. And, just when I joined in 2014 or 2015, I think there were like 300 people in the group and 1,500 plus now, all over Instagram, all over Twitter. It's just been amazing to watch in these last 2 years, especially. Just, we've got such a good team of dedicated people. And it took a little bit of storming, I would say, in the 2015, 2016, and really getting the group together. And now it's just, it's been unbelievable.
And now I understand that we're on TikTok too. I don't really know what that means, but we're there. So if you have a TikTok account, you can follow us.
I have one. I'm following 4 people now.
I created one and I looked at TikTok for about 20 minutes and decided I was kind of scarred for life. So I jumped out, but it's what all the cool kids are doing these days.
I do. So there is, I would think I was telling the board earlier this week, there's Clubhouse is a new one where it's something like this, but it's all just talking. There's no video, there's no presenting. And it's just, there are these forums of people to get together. And there's a group now, I think there's 4,000 people in this genetic counseling one. And there's another one for cancer genetics, which is getting very big. And I started talking to one of the hosts of the genetic counseling one and talking about doing breakouts, because I think it'd be a great forum to, and it's going to be somewhat like Gmail. Gmail used to be only invitation only when it first started, and that's the way Clubhouse is now. But eventually it's going to go mainstream. And I think it's going to be a great platform for us to jump into right away and kind of cement ourselves as Li-Fraumeni #1 search results, and to collect people there and to have discussions with the medical community. I think it's going to be very good.
Courtney.
Christina? Or, sorry. Courtney, go for it.
I was just going to let you know that Club is wonderful for me. I've been on a few genetic panels. There's one on minorities in genetics, a lack of screening in my. So I've met a lot. Can you hear me?
You break.
Am I still breaking up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put it in the chat because I have horrible Wi-Fi, but I will start posting Clubhouse when I get invites so we can get more LFSers in it.
Awesome.
That's great. Yeah, I think I have a week left before I can create my own Clubhouse, and then I'll create one for Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And was it Dina DNA or something like that? That was the woman on Instagram. Yeah, she's the one who does that. Yeah.
Would anybody else like to share? Well, I think we're at our hour, so thank you all so much for joining us for this second session of LFS Awareness Day. And what we've managed to accomplish has just been astounding, and it's been thanks to all of the people on this call, and we appreciate you very much. So happy Li-Fraumeni Syndrome Awareness Day.
Keep tagging us in your shirts if you haven't done that. Yep, we totally appreciate it, and we love seeing all the support. So thank you from the board.
Tom, drive safe over there. I see you.
Yeah, all of you driving, drive safe. Yes, Tom. You're muted.
I just wanted to tell him that I get a message all the time, and she said, "Bite me."
Nope.
I'm sorry, Tom. I can't hear you.
Yeah, Tom, you're breaking up.
I said, can you hear me now or no? Hello? I'm in the hole. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. I'll give up. Any luck?
Type it in the chat. Oh wait, no, don't type it in the
don't
chat.
type in the chat. Post it in the group, Tom.
All right, I'll sign off.
All right, thank you all so much for joining us. Have a
Thank
great
you,
rest
everybody.
of LFS Awareness Day.